The first question that I always get asked is, in some ways, is why do you make a record out of a pig? It seems to me we've got so many possibilities of turning the world into music through sound that why not make a record out of a pig? I followed a pig from birth, then I recorded it through its growing up process, and then it was killed at 20 weeks, which I was unable to record. Then I recorded it being butchered and eaten. I guess from birth to plate, you could say that.
It's that sound.
So here I'm at the farm, and this is the beginning of my pig record.
I spent 8 months on a farm, going up every week or two, and just how a farm operates. On the album, each of the tracks is named after the month that I went up. On the first track, August is the pig being born. Now, the first thing I learnt was that I assumed that labour, like human labour, would be an extremely noisy, dramatic affair. There was very little in the way of drama, and the pigs just came out after a cause, and mine just bumps its head slightly on the wooden wall as it came out. This is a tiny little bonk. On the record you hear me say, quite quietly in the background, that was it. And the way I generated pitch was in the background. You hear me turn the video camera off. It's like, okay, I've captured that. So it goes bing bong thing, and that's the sound that I use to make the keyboard on it. So it becomes like a sort of dialogue between me and my video recording and the pig itself. The second track is Feeding Time, and the voice of the pig that's the loudest is the pig that has its jaw broken by the mother quite early on, and so it can't feed, so the other pigs are feeding, other piglets are feeding, but it can't feed, and so it's sort of going around the outside making this sort of quite edgy noise. And so that's why the second track, it has a sort of certain edge to it, you know, it never quite settles, because there's always this one pig that can't feed, and then that pig is killed. The third track is called October. The main sort of keyboard noise and melody sound that you hear is actually generated from a cow in a stall just next door. And in many ways it's like, I felt like it was the cow saying, "Me too," or something like that, you know, wanting its voice to be heard, and so I used that, and so it became like a dialogue between the other animals. November is when it's incredibly windy, so you can hear the real drama of the wind bashing around. It starts with the wind. December, the pig moves up to a different style, and it's much more metallic. It's got metallic bars. The other thing about it is that bass line is a tractor that's going past, and for me then that becomes about the relationship between the farm itself and the process of farming and the metal and the tractor and things like that. It's very, very snowy. In fact, it's even snowing now. So that's where the pig is, kept down there. There's the sheep, you can see the sheep. Tractor. The cows are in. And here it is. And you can tell it's winter because that's actually, you can hear my footsteps on the snow. And the tractor goes, and that ended up basically. I liked the sound of that, so I thought that would be quite a good bass line. And then January is the pig being collected, so you hear the pig being collected at the beginning and you hear sort of muffled human voices. And then throughout the piece of January you just hear the one pig on its own. It's the one time in the album where we hear the pig on its own. And it's sort of exploring this quite a big trailer, because normally in the trailer there'd be quite a few pigs going off to slaughter. But actually, because it's just the one pig, it's got quite a big trailer to go around, and there's some straw, so you hear it sort of shuffling around in the straw. And it's sort of exploring this thing, and then I've kind of orchestrated the music to fit around the pig. I mean, I was very disappointed to not be able to witness and also to have on the record a complete cycle of including the death of the pig from an artistic point of view, but politically it tells a great deal that we in this country don't have any rights to see our food. We're kept at great distances from it. In Britain it's kept behind this sort of veil of corporate secrecy. My motivation for wanting to witness that was to acknowledge the realities of what it is to eat meat. And for me, part of the problem we have in our society is a huge disconnect between what we do and the consequences of our actions. And so I was very disappointed artistically not be able to provide it, but actually politically I think it tells a really important story, which is that even though I'd contributed to this pig's life and financially and being there as a witness to it growing up, I had no rights to actually witness this pig dying. So, and I think for me it feels like a crucial part of the story right there. We hear the pig being butchered. The first sound you hear is the severed head of the pig dropping onto the kitchen work surface. The bass line is the pig's carcass again being put down after it's come off of the transporter. You hear the bones being sawed, and the main melody is from the blood sort of dripping into the bucket. The next piece is where it's eaten, and you hear the pig being cooked at the beginning. The main melody on that is done by Henry Dagg's blood instrument, pig's blood instrument that we had built. So you can hear the sort of squeal of that pig's blood instrument that makes up the majority of the melodic component of that song. And then at the end you hear the pig being eaten by the people. And then the final piece is the pig lament, where I go into the sty and record and sing a piece of music in memory of the pig. At this time of year, I take my happiness and disappear. Tell these lungs to breathe again when the sun is back to my refrain. A simple life is all we need, a love to multiply, dignify each day, and so to